It's spinning. Okay. It says we live. I'm waiting to see it on the YouTube. Isn't that crazy?
No,
It
like,
says,
I need validation that this thing
yeah.
is
I'm like,
going.
why you tell me I'm live, but I still see the thumbnail. I need you to fix that.
Go ahead. I think it's a 10-second delay or something like that.
Oh, is it? Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah. It so is, because there it is right there. All right. So we are live. Welcome to Her Game Sports Talk. I'm Jackie Rae. This is Jackie Rae TV. I am so glad to have my guest with me today because she had me on her show. I had so much fun with LA Sparks Weekly. DJ Tricey Trice is in the building.
What's up, y'all? Feels good to be on Jackie Rae TV. This is my moment. I've been waiting for this. Let's do it.
Yo, I'm looking at your background right now, and you did an Instagram post, and I saw you out on the balcony. Girl, I could never. I'm afraid of heights. I could never.
I can't tell you what floor I'm on, but it's way more than 15. So it's pretty high, and the stairs are crazy when the elevators are down. But
oh no.
Yeah, it's fun.
All right. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a great view. But y'all, we are here. Let me see if I can see the chat just in case y'all do start talking to us. But thank you guys so much for joining us or watching this later. We were just talking about this. I just realized a little while ago that the NBA draft is tonight as well. We forgot. Okay.
Everybody forgot. The world forgot. I mean, the NBA might have forgot. They put more on their page about the WNBA draft than about this draft. So maybe they want us to forget.
Yeah, I saw the first couple people go, and I'm like, I don't know who that is. So
I don't know none of them people, Hoppo. It was one. It was one person I knew, and he went to Purdue, and that was it. And
that's why.
So I was not happy with that pick anyway. I'm like, whatever. Yep. Good luck with your career, brother.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck. I might sneak in some Lakers talk at the end because DJ Tricey Trice, she all about the LA Sparks and the Lakers. I think we have a difference of opinion on this head coach thing, but we might get to that at the end. I love that. We're gonna get to all that. But let's talk about this WNBA Commissioner's Cup. First and foremost, let's just talk about the format. I like this format this year because last year I had a hard time keeping up with what game was a Commissioner's Cup game and which wasn't. I like the 2-week format that you just went into it. It was 5 games instead of 10.
Yep.
Way more mentally manageable this season to figure out who was doing what. What did you think about the new format?
I love the new format because let's wrap it up. You know what I mean? Let's go ahead and wrap this up. It's impactful. It still has the same allure. I love the ball that they did. I want to see if I can get my hands on one of them. So hopefully WNBA put those up for sale so we can buy some of those black and white balls because those are fire. I think they did a really good job of publicizing it, and that Olympic break that they taken actually added some more excitement to front load this. And I love the money part still. I think it was the same amount of money as last year, but it seemed like the players were way more money motivated and were more vocal about that. And that makes me happy because it's like, I want the bag.
Yeah, I think they were more honest about it because there's no way that when we talk about the salaries the way that we do in the WNBA that y'all ain't about that money. What was it like? I wrote it down. It was like $40,000 a piece, I think, something like that.
It's a pool of $500,000.
Yeah, so it was so on a 12-player roster, it'd be $41,000 a piece, and then of course the MVP Collier, she got an additional $5,000. So shout out to her. I still know that Kelsey Plum was watching this and saw that MVP trophy and was like, if y'all don't come replace my teacup. I'm still mad about this.
Cup trophy is this big, and they gave her a little water bottle.
What is this? Teacup, Alice in Wonderland teacup. Yeah. I'm not a fan. I'm just going to admit right off the top, and I just want to see where you're at with this. I'm going to admit I was sleeping on Minnesota. I did not think that Minnesota was going to look like a championship team this season. Were you sleeping on them, or is that just a Jackie thing?
This is exactly, this is my I told you so moment. I've been waiting to get on this camera and say, I told you so, because the Minnesota Lynx have been playing great basketball since the beginning of the season. Nafisa Collier was already a threat last year. They added Courtney to the team. They look good. They look like a well-oiled machine, as well as Heidemann from Connecticut. So you got a strong point guard who's had some winning success and come from a team who's used to pushing that pace. Minnesota's got the formula. I knew that they would pop out, but I didn't know I knew they was going to lose. New York was going to lose this game. And I'll tell you why too. Because in my opinion, New York is not a clutch team.
Oh,
and that sucks to say out loud, but they lost the championship last year because they couldn't perform under pressure. And I'm hoping that this year with them losing the Commissioner's Cup, they can actually refocus and go ahead and retool their team to be a championship team come finals.
I definitely agree on that. I think one of the things that I noticed and I was disappointed in, it was great to see, but in the fourth quarter when Sandy Brondello, she called them in and she was like, you guys have given up. You got to stop giving up. And then we saw Stewie go out there and she went on a run all by herself. But in my mind, I'm like, okay, that's great. I love that you listened to Coach. I love that she could inspire you, but this would have been great in the second quarter. This would have been great at the top of the third quarter. Then Jonquel, bless her heart, she didn't even score.
I can't even talk about JJ. I understand that they scouting you, girl, to take you down, but all them turnovers, she didn't score any points that wasn't from the free throw line.
Yep.
How is that acceptable in any? You scored 3, then you missed the second free throw that you could have hit. You could have scored 4 points, and it's all from the 3-point. Like, from the free throw line, how did they lock her down like that?
So here's the thing. I went on the WNBA Spaces. Y'all know that's every Monday on Twitter, X, whatever y'all want to call it. And I had made a prediction. I was like, because we've seen Jonquel have some big games. We've seen her struggle in some games. In my mind, I was like, she's going to know they're coming for her. She's going to be prepared for that. She's going to go out there and at least get a double-double. But I had predicted a triple, but I would have settled for a double. I didn't anticipate having a goose egg at the top of the fourth quarter.
I wish you would have called me before you made your predictions, because I wouldn't have put no money on that game. I would have said Minnesota is way more hungry. They play more scrappy. They play team ball. And one of the things that really stands out for Minnesota is that ball passing. They are making sure everybody is getting involved. Just quick touch passes and beating them in transition. So it's like, JJ knew they was going to come for her, and she kept just giving up the same old. They would try to dump it to JJ, steal it. Run down the court, score. Try to dunk. And it's like, okay, we've had enough of this. Girl, stand out on the 3-point line, make them spread the floor, and change up the game. Because Stewie could have did the same thing, and she's a little bit taller. And you know what I mean? She could have maybe been. It's like they never adjusted. And even though Sabrina Ionescu got hot and some of the other players continued to keep the game competitive, it felt like a landslide game for me.
It did. There was a moment in time where it was tied for was it 2.5 minutes? It was tied. And then Minnesota went on another 8-point run. And then after that, it was just a wrap. But one of the things that I noticed was, I don't even want to say that Minnesota is deep. It's just everybody can ball. Like, they're from their bench to their starters, everybody can ball. And I felt like New York was very light. Like, after you get out of their starters. Now Sabally is hurt. She's out with a back injury. I'm going to give Vandersloot some grace, because she just came back after her. I can't even imagine,
wouldn't even want to play.
Right.
Wouldn't even be bouncing the basketball, and Sloot was out there playing for the money. So we definitely applaud you, Sloot, for that one.
For sure. But I just didn't think that New York was prepared. I do like Minnesota's vibe, though. Like, they came out there like, okay, so y'all ain't really talking about us. I got you. Watch this. I really like that.
Minnesota is for sure is a championship contending team, just the way that they are, because you don't know who they big three is. Exactly what you said. You like, everybody kind of scoring. Who Kayla? Who this other girl? And it's like everybody is sharing the ball, passing the ball, being incredibly effective. They limited their turnovers. It was a perfect execution. And when you go to teams like Minnesota, where they don't necessarily have a big three, like, they got Fee, they got Courtney, who they other. All right, I can't even think of who they center. I don't even know they center off the top of my head. Right. It's just because everybody is effectively scoring. It's like you can't even name drop the people. Whereas you go for a New York, it's going to be Stewie, it's going to be JJ, but Nigel Laney, Hamilton is going to be on there, and then Sabrina Ionescu. That's the 4. And then Thornton. Thornton might give you some shots if she can find her stroke, 4 or 5 threes, that kind of thing. But other than that, you make some subs and now the run is over. But Minnesota is hell bent on playing great basketball, passing efficiency, getting out in transition, turnovers. They really apply pressure from the jump. And I think it's because they just have more experience. They have more focus, and they're unselfish in every way. You know what I mean?
Now, Courtney Williams, she doesn't like to be called a point guard. But she looks like a point guard to me.
I don't know why.
What we supposed to call her if we're not gonna call her a point guard?
I guess she's trying to redefine basketball. I don't know why everybody don't want to play what their name is, but girl, you as a point guard, you was out there telling people what to do. She's dribbling and taking it into the paint and drawing the opposition and kicking it back out. Like, I get why she doesn't want to limit herself. Maybe she wants to be looked at more as like a 1-2 flex because she is a little bit undersized. I don't know.
Just flex.
There's no flex. She is definitely out there. You want to get it into her hands for her to either score or for her to pass because her mid range is where is king. She steps into that 3-point line right above that arc, right at the free throw line on any corner of the court, and she can just shoot it and hit every time. So I don't know why she want to be called that, but we got to ask her that in some kind of press conference because I need some background because girl, you are leading in the point guard area. Especially this Minnesota team.
Now, okay, so Coach Cheryl said they're bringing sexy back because we've been talking about all these super teams. She literally said post game, I don't want to misquote her, but she said something to the effect of, "Okay, y'all been talking about all these super teams and you ain't been talking about us. You got to talk about us now." Do you think they're playing with a chip on their shoulder? So aside from the fact that they're deep and they're great. By the way, we're going to get to Kylie McBride because she gets on my nerve in the most beautiful way. But but do you think they're playing with a chip on their shoulder?
I think they are doing what Dylan the Villain does in the NBA, right? They just trying to attract more pressure and create these situations where teams got it out for them so they can be named as a number one contender. Are people necessarily looking at the Minnesota Lynx as a top 3 team? No. Are they a top 3 team? Absolutely. You know, they can compete with Connecticut on that East Coast. So with that in mind, it's like, I think they're trying to be that, just poke the bear a little bit because right now it's looking slim to none that the Aces are going to win a 3-peat. It's not looking like
I'm channeling the point god and things are going to turn around now.
I hope she better put on her cape.
She will. I'm going to iron it for her if she need me to. I'm here. I'll steam it and everything.
She really got to dig herself out of there because they're off to a not so great start. Do I think that they can do it? Absolutely. Because they got Asia Wilson. They got the whole Olympic team in their starting lineup, to be quite honest. So I'm not ever going to count Vegas out. But what I'm saying is these young teams that have figured it out and acquired strategic players, that Natisha Heidelman, that's a strategic player.
Absolutely.
She is fierce. She will not stop. She is very good with the ball. She's limiting her turnovers. She's athletic. She can hustle. You know what I mean? Like, these are the players that aren't making SportsCenter, but are affecting the game majorly. So that over and over and over again, and Minnesota has done that. Period.
Yeah. Speaking of turnovers, the New York Liberty had 20. The Lynx had 4, but the Lynx scored 27 points. So if you just take the 27 points off of turnovers away, this is a whole entirely different game. I don't expect a team like the New York Liberty, aside from the fact that, yes, I think that the Lynx are deeper than the Liberty. They definitely had the hunger more. They played the entire game, whereas I think New York showed up probably middle of the third quarter. The turnovers I don't expect from a team like the New York Liberty. What's going on there with all these turnovers?
I think they got caught slipping.
Oh,
they out-schemed them. I think they out-schemed. They knew every place they was gonna pass it. It was like, oh, girl, don't pass it. I was watching the game. Oh, girl, she right there. I just couldn't stop them from turning the ball over left and right. It was one time JJ turned the ball over like 2 times.
Yeah, and then got mad. Do you remember that? She was like, "Why don't call the foul?" I'm like, why would they call the foul?
Bro, what is the name of the foul that they will call? What's the actual name? Teach us so we could teach them real quick, and then they could call it because this is insane. I think New York was they literally gave the game away. They were making questionable passes. They were getting deep into the shot clock and then just jacking up shots. It was like, how you gonna hit that? Ain't nobody in for the rebound. I just was like, that was one of their worst games, and I think it was because a couple things. Let's remember also too, they weren't at their normal arena. Because the NBA draft that we all forgot about.
Since everybody forgot about it, though, couldn't they have gone to what was it, Staten Island, Long Island? Where was it?
I don't know where they were at in New York, but they could have moved the NBA draft to Paris since they wanted to draft all of the France dude, number one. To be quite honest, it didn't need to be here. It could have been in Vegas or any other city that needed some action at this time, because the New York Liberty, I think, feel a lot more comfortable at home. Now, what Stewie and their coach was saying was like, hey, maybe we'll capture a new audience over here. But I heard that it was hard to get to the game for the regular people who've sold out the arena. So it's like you're not at home. You're in a different environment. So this is an away game.
Right.
To be honest.
The Sparks went through that when they had to play in Long Beach.
Girl, I was so shocked when I pulled up and seen the pyramid. Now, I'm not from LA, so don't judge me. I ain't know Long Beach had a real damn pyramid.
Wait, so when you saw the press release that said the Sparks are going to be playing at the pyramid, you thought that was just the name of it?
I thought that was the name of it. Maybe the buildings was organized in a quad. You know how groups and colleges name stuff, girl. I didn't think that they was actual. I was like, wow. Michael was like, it's one of the places, it's only a couple places on earth that got pyramids, evidently. So it's a huge thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was an away game that shocked me. And as a Sparks fan, I felt very inconvenienced by that. So I can only
I live in Long Beach. So I was like, let's do it. Let's go. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it did lack, because even, you and I have seen it. We've seen crypto or Staples Center, depending on when we go, we've seen it be relatively empty, but even out empty, it still has an entirely different energy.
For sure.
I think. Well, because
it feels like a professional arena. It feels like a professional arena. It does.
And the echo's better, so even a few people can make it sound like something's going on in there.
And them speakers in Long Beach is different than the speakers at crypto. The speakers there, I'm there for the beats. I want to feel some bass in my chest when the music plays. So yeah, it's definitely a different vibe. So I think that was what New York was struggling from. And then also too, it's like getting hit with a punch every single quarter. And this was playoff level basketball. And New York thought this was the middle of the season. We could win again.
Relax. Yeah.
Like it was.
I literally saw Sabrina, and this is when I was like, oh, they might have a bigger problem than just this game. I saw Sabrina try to throw a pass to Stewie while Stewie was setting her a screen for her to go around. Yeah, and I was like, what? That was clearly a screen. How you not see that?
Because she just throwing the ball away. I mean, when I play at open gym, that's what happens.
That's what you do?
Boom, bow, hit your shoe, boom. I don't even know where I'm going. I thought you would be there. It was almost as if it was one of their first games playing back together, which it kind of was, because Delaney Hamilton was out. You had Sloot that was out. So you putting your starters back together. But even with that piecemeal of a starting lineup and having those obstacles that they had to overcome, there's no excuse to play that kind of basketball that New York played. And they fans know that. Everybody know that. I'm sure they know that. 20 turnovers versus 4.
And even it's like, okay, where's the transition though? Once you turn it over, they can't score. That means they scored on damn near every turnover.
It was because all the turnovers was fast breaks. They was
like
and throwing that thing all the way across.
Yeah. Kayla McBride has got quarterback in her blood. She just does.
They all do. And they was putting that heat on the passes and meeting the ball and doing all the good things that you want to see when you watch a basketball game. And we saw a frustrating moment from Sabrina too. She's like, come get the ball.
I know.
Moving. And it's like, they are saying,
I love the commentators trying to dial it down. She's just saying to her teammates, we saw what she said. We don't need you to tell. Everybody heard her.
Dial it up.
Yeah.
At 10 turnovers, she should have dialed that thing up, because 20 versus 4 there's no way you can win that game. And like you said, Stewie put that cape on and started to do her thing. And it's like, girl, you would have needed to do this all game. This was the night that Stewie needed to drop a 50-piece. That's the MVP kind of behavior that would need to happen to carry your team. And that's why Asia is the MVP.
Right. And I'm proud of her with Sandy Brondello saying, look, this is what we got to do. But I also, on the flip side, I've given, Coach Reeves a lot of credit for how she's been the cohesive agent for the Lynx. Sandy probably should have started putting the heat on her players in the first half. That speech that we heard her give in the fourth quarter, I feel like that came a little late. So in your opinion, how much is this? Are we seeing that there's a difference in coaching style, and maybe Sandy needs to think about coaching a little different if she really wants to get this championship?
I think after that performance, Sandy is going to coach different. I don't think.
Oh,
I think those one of those things that just happen in the field, and you be like, you know what, that ain't never gonna happen to me again.
Yeah.
They need some hardship, and I thought that losing the championship last year would be enough fuel to get this New York team, which most of their star players returned. So we're not talking about a team that you had to rebuild and do a whole bunch of changing. Like, no,
Right.
these people have played together before. They've got a system. I would think they would come out and want to play like the Connecticut Sun.
You would think.
You would think. Connecticut Sun is playing like every game is their last game. I don't know what them girls is doing at home, what kind of affirmations they have,
right?
What
prayer circles,
diet. I don't know what them ladies got over there at the Connecticut Sun or what they giving out, but they are on a mission. And I really believe that New York was like that. But then again, my first mind tells me that they choke. And I keep saying that if New York doesn't work this year, it is over. It's the super team phenomenon. It's a myth. You know what I mean? If they can't make it work this year, they not it.
How over is over? Because Stewie's no spring chicken. So when we talk about over, is it over as in she moves on, or over and now it's time for her to sit it down?
Over as if Stewie gonna return, but some of them other people not.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, they gonna break it up.
She still got a lot left in the tank, I think.
Yeah. Oh, Stewie got a lot left in the tank. If Diana Taurasi is still playing,
I mean, and just bothering people. Oh my God, she just be playing so damn physical.
As soon as she retired from the WNBA, she gonna go to the LA Fitness and be over there doing the 21 all day. You know, I got you. You pick me up. She that kind of dog when she plays. So it's like I think Stewie, you know, is gonna return. If this doesn't work out, just my prediction, I think Sabrina is gonna move on and probably go to the Valkyrie. Because her colorway for her shoe, they be dropping Easter eggs. You feel me? That's just how I feel.
They do.
And Steph is there. So it's like she has also, let me talk about this.
Okay.
Sabrina Ionescu, her game has improved so much.
Tremendously.
So much.
Tremendously.
He looks like Steph Curry. I think she was training with him or got some tips because she got that floater from him. And then she had this little hezzy crossover where she went into the paint and then stopped and then started back again. She blew past everybody. And I'm like, now Sabrina did not have this game last year.
She did not.
She plays more patient like Steph and keep her head up and doing all these little things. So big kudos to Sabrina Ionescu. I really think she did a phenomenal job with her team and was one of the players that kept them in the game and kept it competitive.
Yeah, I was waiting for her to have a growth spurt. It's unfortunate that while she's having this growth spurt, everyone else seems to be flatlining a little bit. But you know, and Jonquel is one of my favorite players, so I could just be taken. But like, she's had these, you know, big moments, but then followed by like, okay, she goes missing a lot. It's like these ebbs and flows with her. What do you think it's just that people know her game so well that if they study tape, they can shut her down easily?
Yep. And I think that you have to fight through that and create different scenarios in which to counteract that. It's that counterintelligence that you need. And it might be hard physicality wise. She might feel like, oh my God, they're doubling me. It's like, okay, figure out a way to get around it because
you big as hell.
And you have 40 games. Okay. Just find another way, JJ. And it's like, it seems like sometimes she get frustrated and get in her head and then it's not scoring and then it's not hitting. But 3 points is not acceptable
at all.
She's a former MVP. 3 points. Like I'm sure she's looking at that tape like I don't even want to see it. But 2 teams are targeting her, but that means that if you double JJ, Stewie open. So what we doing?
Yeah.
We're not open. There should have been a counter move for each one of these moves, and that's why I'm saying they got out coached.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah, they did. I think it was out strategized. They just Minnesota, like you said, they played the whole game because it was a time where they were down and they played. They played and they came back. Like you said, they were going these 8-0 runs, 12-0 runs, 11-0 runs, and then review the play, overturn the call. You know what I mean? Like all of the strategy things that make for a great game. Minnesota just had more in the tank, and it's like maybe New York is saving their best for something else. But I think it's good that they lost this because it's better to feel the hardship in the middle of the season than at the end. And if they don't get their act together after this, ain't gonna be no end because it's gonna be the Connecticut Sun versus the Aces or the Minnesota Lynx versus the Aces.
As long as you're saying Aces, I feel okay about it. I think
the Aces, of course, are gonna take the West.
Yeah.
Just in the long run of it all, who's leading right now? Like the Mercury or something like that?
Yeah, let me look real quick.
Yeah.
Because just for those of y'all who are tuning in late, because I don't see nobody in the chat yet. But the WNBA is not like the NBA where the East will face the West in the finals. It's just the top teams.
Yep.
But that's the other thing that I really love about the Commissioner's Cup, though, is this is when we do have these East Coast, West Coast rivalries.
Yep.
Sidebar, though, I think that, I think it was last year or maybe the year before, but I think it was last year. And I was talking to Kathy Engelberg, she's the WNBA commissioner, and I was asking her, like, what's been the struggle on really creating these rivalries? She didn't really answer that question, but she did say, we're going to try to focus that on in the future. This rivalry between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese manifested itself in the NCAA. So that one was just a thing. But I think one of the reasons why the WNBA struggles is because we don't have this East Coast, West Coast thing.
Yep. It's not an East Coast, West Coast rivalry. And people are most comfortable with that. And the division just straight in half is easier, but we don't have that many teams on either side.
Right.
So it's like, that's why they don't really do the East Coast, West Coast, and everybody's got this hierarchy. But New York is still the top team right now by 3 games. So it's like, do we give them a break on this and just say, y'all lost the money? Losing the money would be hard enough for me.
Yeah, that would piss me off. I'm sorry. Give me what?
We could have played one extra game, and I'm sure they already done beat the Lynx one time.
Yeah. So yeah. I'm like, nah, I need that money. $41,000 for 1 day of play?
For 1 day of play.
Nah, we got to get this together.
We got to play. And New York is obviously the team with the better record. So they could have walked into there. I'm looking now. Connecticut is 13-3.
Yeah. Right. Minnesota's 13-3.
Then Seattle has really turned a corner, girl. They have turned.
I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting this to be this season. I thought it would happen later in the season when we would see them figure it out, but I didn't know they was going to figure it out this soon.
I did, because Jewel Lloyd, Skylar Diggins-Smith, and Nneka Ogwumike are all champions. And you told me last year that Nneka was leaving. I was like, where
remember? Okay, yes. I told you. I was like, oh, I'm going to miss Nneka. You were like, she ain't going nowhere.
I was wrong. One of my top wrongest takes of all time. Broke my heart. Left me out.
Let me tell you how I knew. On media day last season, sat down with Nneka and I said, so Nneka, for someone who loves the Sparks and you're always talking about this as home for you, 1-year deal, what's the reason for that? And she looks at me, she goes, it was needed. And I was like, so you leaving?
Oh man, I'm sure they tried to throw the world at her to stay, but then they had those 2 picks, so it's like, okay, we can just try to rebuild. And by all means, once I actually got out of my feelings, I was like, you know what, I love this move for Nneka, because you deserve to go chase a championship with some people who are on the same timetable as you.
Yeah,
LA not on this timetable right now. We're trying to build a culture and get a whole team of people, and we got a new coach. It's too many moving pieces in the LA place right now. But Seattle has a track record of championships. Jewel Lloyd, I mean, Seattle was stinking up the place last year, just terrible, and she still was having an MVP season.
Right.
She was like, I don't know why we losing. Damn.
Right. What is happening?
I'm dropping 40 pieces every time. So it's like that. But I knew Skylar was going to have a little bit of time figuring it out. And they
absolutely.
And all of that. But they picked it up.
Yeah.
They are playing like the champions that they are. So they 10-6, man.
And I wanted Nneka to go. I think I was odd man out last season. I was like, Nneka, please leave. I did. I was doing hashtag free Nneka. Oh, the hate that I got for that.
Oh, yeah. It was me.
Hashtag free Nneka. It wasn't. Were you ghosted me too? Like,
no, I wasn't ghost hating on you. I always hate with my name on it. Okay. I am not gonna hate in the shadows. I'm gonna say, why are you saying this about my team? Don't break my heart, but to lose your star player that's been there from a championship, and it's like Nneka was the last remnant of that championship team that we had. So it's just
she deserved better though. She
did deserve. She deserved a new squad. And a coach that has a different kind of perspective on how they like to play. Yeah, because Nneka, I think, works better with Noel and how Noel likes to play.
Yes. All right, so real quick, we're going to do 2 things before we go. Since we're on this Sparks conversation, what are the Sparks right now? They're not. Oh, dang, they are the Mystics right now.
That was the name of one of my shows, which I will probably have to take down. Very soon. I will have to say, sorry, I was wrong. We're worse. But Carly just went down with an injury. So we are
Okay.
not the Mystics.
We are not the Mystics. We are
Yeah.
not the Mystics. Very early on when I was talking to Lasia Clarendon, they said that they were surprised at the chemistry and how quickly the chemistry had developed on the team. I gotta say, I thought that as well. But even before Cameron Brink got her injury, something just unclicked, I think, for me. It just didn't look like it was clicking the same way. Even with the losses, you and I even had that conversation that even with the losses, we were like, oh, okay, but I see something. I see something. But it just seemed like something unclicked. I think part of that is all the different rotations. But what do you think is going on?
You took the words right out of my mouth. I think it's this random basketball. It's like playing NBA 2K on random. And then every time you play in the game and you score a basket, the players change. And you like, God, no, where is my 3 at? Lexi the one? What's happened? Like, I think that's what we struggling from a little bit. It's like you get into this point where you have to experiment because you got to see what you got. But then that experimentation, things fall apart to fall together. And we are currently in the fall apart phase, hoping that it fall together. And then we got the hardship contract because, of course, Cameron Brink went out. They signed Queen Egbo before we played the New York Liberty, which was a close game.
Right. It was.
Actually, it was a very close game. So you got another seasoned player who's got some size on it that we can actually work with, that can help lead to develop Lee's game a little bit, work as a companion with De'Erica. So we are definitely turning a corner. I think that Coach Miller is deciding what kind of coach and what kind of systems he wants, and he has a very strict vision of what that is. And I think that it has worked in multiple places. It can work. It's just not working yet. And people like me don't understand because Stephanie Talbot, I get it now. I don't.
I still feel like, okay. And maybe it's just because, the Sparks have a special place in my heart. I grew up watching the Sparks. You know what I mean? I'm from Denver. So I grew up, we was everything LA until Carmelo Anthony came to Denver. We didn't give a about nothing in Denver until Carmelo Anthony came. But, so this was the town for me. And so when you kind of nailed it for me with Coach, because I feel like he is very he sees a vision and he's trying to stay on that path. I do think you might need to say, is that the right path? I think just being so strict in his vision might be problematic long term.
Oh, for sure. And I think that some of the players that are playing this year won't make next year's vision of what that is, because it's going to be built around the stars, the starters that we just got here. Lee, he likes Lee's game a lot. There's a lot of development that can be done there. Rakia's game is going to improve. We're going to have to start from ground zero with Cam. De'Erica's game, she's already locked in for next year. You know what I mean? Now you got a player like Ari McDonald, which kind of came out of nowhere and is leading the pack. What I mean?
But her I forget what she said on her presser right after they got her. She said something that I can't remember what it was. I wrote it down somewhere, but I was like, oh, she's not going to play no games. No. Like that somebody cracked the jokes with her, and that's what it was. I forget it was. It might have been Michael. I think he asked her like a fun, lighthearted question, and she goes, "Ha, no, I'm here to play, and I'm here to." And I was like, "Oh, that was a fake ha."
Yeah. I love her.
No
attitude.
Games.
Yeah, she talks about winning a lot.
Yes,
she knows that she can't remember. She was second string. She's worked her way up to the starting lineup because a lot of those other players like Laisha having a slow start, had a hotter start, but then got that concussion, not really recovered from that. Kia Nurse was hot on the press them first.
Yeah, she was. And then wah wah.
Where you at? What happened to the threes? And it's like, man, you doing turnovers and and I love all of these players. I think all of these players can play well when they play together. But like you said, it was like something unclicked. And I think it was that first road trip. It kind of broke them. You know what I mean? Because then now you're on the road, you got these extra stressors, and then they just couldn't get their footing, and they haven't done well on road trips this whole season.
And now we don't have as much to blame it on, because last season, for those of y'all who don't know, the Sparks were getting stuck. Flights was getting canceled. They was having to sleep in the airport.
Yep.
It was so bad.
It was
ratchet.
Yeah.
But now they got these charter flights. Now it's like, okay, now takes away
what's happening. It's like they have been going for the whole month. They haven't played here at all.
Yeah, I know. I feel lonely.
I know. It's like, when are we going back to crypto? But I think it's next week.
Yeah.
One
Yeah,
more
it's
road
on the
trip game.
2nd, but I'll be in Denver celebrating 4th of July with my mom, but I'll be back on the 5th. I'm coming back at 7 a.m. on the 5th
For
so
the
I can be
Aces
there because that's
game.
that
I
Aces
knew
game.
it. Imma be there. I just tried to get extra tickets. They talking about this meeting capacity too. I'm like, please give me more tickets. I want to take my friends.
Yeah, I mean, and don't forget that the Sparks won that first matchup in crypto against the Aces, so we shall
Chelsea Gray was not playing.
see.
Let me throw that caveat out there. Put that up on the screen, Jackie. Chelsea Gray wasn't playing.
Like, you got to make it ahead of time. I ain't got it.
Oh man.
But look, before we get out of here, I'm a Laker fan. I'll have to put this caveat out there because some of y'all have seen my journey and you call me out if I don't put this caveat out there. I'm a Laker fan by way of LeBron. I go where LeBron goes. But I'm just gonna say it right now. I am not a fan of little Mr. JJ being at the helm. You are. Tell me why. Tell me why.
Okay. Originally, I wasn't a fan of JJ. I thought it was insane. I didn't understand the rhetoric. And I thought it was the LeBron hire, to be honest. And I too, let me give your fans my caveat. I am an LA over everything fan, but I too am a King James fan. Okay. Hey. They call me Shabron James on the internet because I be online. I mean, I go at it with people for LeBron. You're not about to tell me he not the GOAT. Okay.
I like Shabron better than what they call me. Shabron I like. They call me a bronze sexual.
Oh yeah.
Which I kind of like that too, though.
Yeah, but you look more ladylike than me. So they like, oh no, you bronze sexual. Let's just make that cute. They be like, Shabron James.
Oh my God.
So crazy. I mean, them men on TikTok and the YouTube. Ooh, that's the treacherous crowd. But I love the banter, so I'm good with it. So I thought it was insane, but then I thought about it. There have been other players who have transitioned into coaching and have done really successful. I also started watching Clipped, and I'm like, you know what? If JJ could play for Doc Rivers at this time, when all of this drama was happening and everything, maybe he learned something about, reviving things and creating a culture of winning and continuing to play forward and being there for the team and rallying the locker room. That's important. And then the press conference came out and he seemed educated. I'm like,
he's very educated.
He's got a basketball mind. Here's what I think was going to happen with the Lakers. I don't want you to feel like he's at the helm because LeBron is at the helm.
Right.
Okay. He is a player where you could draw up a play and you get on the court and he be like, we not doing
Don't do that. We're not doing
that was stupid. That was stupid. We're taking it back. Give me the ball. I'm going to pass it to myself and we're going to do the thing. That's just who LeBron is. And that's why we love LeBron James. Yes. I think that LeBron, like the Lakers are going to get Bronny. I don't know. It could have happened while we're here talking about this.
Oh, yeah. Because, nobody knew that draft was happening. I forgot until you said that. Let me see if we got any updates.
I'm trying to tell you, this is the most forgettable draft of my whole life, okay? I don't know none of them people. But I think that the Lakers needed to keep LeBron happy because Darvin hand in his pockets ham was here for so long with his hands in his pockets just standing around.
Yes.
Just making everybody angry. We weren't mad at being bad. We were mad that we were bad and no one was intervening. We would see the timeouts and he don't even have a clipboard. It's like, what is
LeBron had to tell him a couple of times, like, challenge that. And he was like,
call a timeout. LeBron called his own timeout.
Right.
So we knew he was getting fired. And of course, Doc Rivers hired him because he likes challenges and the worst situations and try to make them the best situations. It's like, this dude has the craziest.
That's like his whole life. That's his personal life as well. But I
think it's his personal goal at this point. He like, what mess can I get into and try to make it better?
Right.
That kind of thing. So it's like JJ ain't at the helm. I think they're gonna hire a rock solid assistant coaching staff.
Have to. Yep.
So they are the brains of the basketball. JJ absolutely has some veto power, has the win over the people, but his job, his first year, will be to develop as a coach and to push these players as hard as they can to get as close to a championship. LeBron's job is to do that in tandem, but with the players and on the court. And he has to get Bronny to keep him happy to sign again.
Agreed. 100%. But the Lakers also don't have any assets to trade away to start building. And Anthony Davis better not catch a cold because if he sneezes too hard, his back's going to go out.
That's true.
So
He did better last season. He had the most games he played in a long time in the last season. He made all
NBA. I surrounded him in spiritual bubble wrap.
I mean, we literally, I was like, bro, every time he get hit in his face, the whole face turn red. I be like, what is wrong with he can't take no shots to the face at all. It's just insane. But I'm with you with no assets to trade away, because it's like, you don't want to trade a Max Christie that you've been developing all this time. You can absolutely trade to like a Jalen Hood Shafino, because okay, we ain't even seen none yet. They got a bunch of them G League two-ways that they could, flex. We don't have no first round picks, but we have clout. Okay. We got some clout. Call in some favors. Rob, wow. You watching the show? Rob Pelinka. Call me. We got to get some better people. And then too, the people who are working, we got to put them in the right spots. Cause it's like a lot of the players, they weren't bad. They just played bad. They weren't given the right assignments. It's like, I don't look like they practice all together again. But Darvin's rotations, going back to the Kurt conversation, the rotations were all over the place. We like, why is he in the game? Who is
He's like, let me just try this. Hey, what's your name again? Come here.
Come on. 4 minutes of experience. Love it here. That kind of thing. So it's like, I think the Lakers, next season will be a reality show. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to love every man. I'm going to pop my popcorn just like I was watching 60 Days In. You feel me? I'm going to watch it, and it's either going to fall apart or it's going to be so crazy that it just might work. All right. I'm with it. I love it. You watch 60 Days In? No, not at all. I just know that's a reality show. I was going to tell you, because you know what you need to watch is Love on the Inside or something like that. And there's these women who marry women and men who marry people who are locked up. Girl, look, I understand how hard it is to date. You don't, because you married. So while I would like to judge it, I've been out here single for a minute. It's hard out here in these streets. And you know what? Turns out everybody's a criminal. So it's like, I don't know. The scammers are everywhere. They're out, they're in. My sister-in-law watch all of that. So all my nieces and nephews be knowing all of the people. So that's what I'll be knowing about it. So I'm with you on that. Reality TV would be but you know what? The NBA would be so much more entertaining. And I said this about the W too. It's like, we should go from training camp all the way through the season with a reality show, because people don't know that these women got to fight for their job. It's still teams releasing people today. People are getting way with the Connecticut Sun, because they got a whole dating drama thing going on over there. Was the Connecticut Sun? Who is the? I love them for that. And Tiffany Hayes retired from the whole WNBA, stopped playing for them, and then came out of retirement and started playing for the Aces. That would never happen in the NBA. This is insane. No. Nobody's talking about it. It is drama city in the WNBA. If more people knew about the drama that was happening, this Nalissa Smith and Dejanay Carrington. This is what I'm talking about. More of that. Matching shoes, give it to me. Yes. You know, and then picking each other up by the hip. She picked her up by the hip, and I was like, that's a lot. That is a lot. And she ain't on your team, girl. Why are you picking her up? And you defending her against your team? Wait a minute. While Indiana is in shambles. In shambles trying to figure it out. But you know what? They picked up their season too. So they like 3 games ahead of the Sparks right now, which is insane to even say out loud. Yeah, you know, and shout out, because I've been watching that. Like, outside of the Sparks, they're that one team that I watch the most, mostly because I'm not a huge Caitlin Clark fan. I've said this before. If you've seen my show, it has nothing to do with her. It's because of her asinine, insane, loathable fan base. That's the reason why I don't. But that has nothing to do with her. But it is what it is. But initially, there was zero chemistry between Caitlin and Aaliyah Boston, and that I didn't think they were ever going to click, because there were some times where I literally saw Caitlin on the ground and Aaliyah kind of rolled her eyes, like, I guess I got to go over there and pick up this chick. Yeah, you know. So, but now they're clicking. You know, Aaliyah's standing up for her. They're laughing and kikiing. So it's going to be fun to watch how they develop. I haven't talked about Caitlin Clark on your show, so I'm going to talk. I don't talk about Caitlin Clark anywhere, but I'm going to give you my exclusive. Do it. I think I love Caitlin Clark's game. My only problem with Caitlin Clark is she is a complainer. She complains when her team don't hit. Her body language is all over her body. It's like, oh my God, girl, just hit the shot. It's like any turnover, any inconvenience, any foul, anything that doesn't go her way, her body language is so whiny. And it's like her dad noticed it, because you noticed when she was in the NCAA. He's like, stop complaining and just play. It's like, that. Girl, you are her. shut up. Get the ball. Go and get in the weight room. Get your protein shake on, whatever you need to do. And it's like, you're going to be hit. You're not going to get every call. You're one of the best players. Everybody's looking at you at this point. You know the attention is there. Why is your attitude and your disposition so whiny? And I think that her team kind of picks up on that, because it's like, you see her teammates miss a shot and she's like, oh.
Yeah.
Who wants to play on a team with somebody who going to do that?
I saw, and if you happen to see this, I can't remember your name, but I saw somebody on Twitter, X, said the problem with Caitlin Clark is she's an extremely talented Karen.
I can feel that. Because then too, she like, my job is to just play basketball.
Right.
Like, the high road is so convenient for those who have access to it, but the rest of the players are in the gutter of the media, being drugged through everything because you're hurting Caitlin, you're doing this. And you could literally just say, hey, yo, chill out, man. They playing. I'm a competitor. We a competitor. We in the arena. And it's like, she don't really do that. She's
starting to now. But she's starting to do it because you can tell, even the way she says it, it's not from a genuine, like, if they had said this about you and I, we'd have been like, yo, stop asking me that dumb stuff. It was almost like when you saw Angel and was it Nafisa? And they was going at it, and then the ref came up and both of them were like, we just talking, calm down. Like, we good. This is what we do, and go back to talking crap to each other. That was one of my favorite moments in time. But that's what we are used to. We're used to having to tell people, no, going over there with that. That's not. And then she's like, oh, I don't be on social media. Now you forget we watched the whole WNBA draft where you barely looked up from your phone. Okay.
She not on something. Where she just scroll? I don't know. Maybe she playing a game on her phone or something. She seems. It's just I'm with her. I get it. I love her game. I like her explosiveness. I get that she's good for the game. I get she's marketable. All these things. She got these deals. She bringing them jets like people are talking about and all of this. I get all of that. My number one complaint is that watching it as a basketball fan is exhausting. It's like Luka.
Right.
Over and over. It's like, shut up, bro. You're not giving me the call. It's like, dribble with your left hand. They hit you on the right 14 times this game, and here you are crying about it. Do something different, So I'm with you on the Indiana Fever. I've been watching a lot of them. I watch most of the games across teams because I just really love binge watching basketball. So even after the game go, I watch it. So I'm feeling the Indiana Fever, but I think they coach. They need to make a coaching change.
I can see that.
They'll get it. They'll get it.
I like Coach Chrissy though. I really like her, but I think I really like her as a person more than, a coach. But as a person, I've talked to her a couple of times and I would definitely hang out with her. You know what I mean? I like her as a person. But I feel the same way about Kirk. I really like Kirk as a person. I'm not sure where I'm at with him as a coach yet.
Yeah, I think she's a good coach. She's just not a good coach with the people in Indiana. For them, specifically. That specific skill set. Whereas Coach Kurt is like, okay, you could be whatever kind of coach you want to be. We're going to build a whole new roster. He got a whole new player. She inherited this franchise that was already struggling. And it's like they got all these picks and all these people. How dare you fumble Aaliyah Boston? You should have been utilizing her way better before Caitlin even arrived. You could have played better 100%. With Aaliyah Boston, to be honest.
100%.
And she had a great season, but I just think sometimes she get behind it and don't really make the right moves at the right times, and that cost them the game. Because it'd be so close at sometimes, and it's like, girl, what you doing? Why you calling timeout?
She do have random timeouts.
Random timeouts. It is. I'll be like, why are you stopping this play? Your team just got the momentum. They were on a drought. Now they scored 6 points straight, and it's like, timeout. Okay, I want to focus and give them a pep talk. Girl, shut up and let them play that basketball.
Yes. Girl, this is so fun. I feel like we could talk forever. But
for another hour, I can. I got it.
Easy. But she got a movie date. I don't. I gotta work. I just be working all the time. Plus, I already told y'all my dating life is rough. But tell everybody where they can follow you. And you've got Infanity TV and LA Sparks Weekly, but you got your own show too. She talks Lakers. Tell everybody what you do. Yeah.
And you can look on every social media platform, or if you lazy, just type it into Google at DJ Tricey Trice. You can see all the places I'm at. I have a podcast that's my personal fan commentary podcast. A lot of people don't know this. I'm with Infanity TV with LA Sparks Weekly, but I have a commentary podcast that's just me talking my Sparks talk, because I was a season ticket holder before I became media, as well as like Jackie. I was a Sparks fan before everything else. I grew up in Chicago and we didn't have a team. when the W first started. So in 97, when it started, they was like, pick a team. I was like, New York. My mama, I'm sorry. I was like LA, but my mama bought me a New York jersey, and then that's where it just all went down for me. Rebecca Lobo, I just tell you, I put the jersey all the way back to the back of my closet. But yeah, DJ Tricey Trice on every single platform. The Spark is the name of my podcast for the Sparks. LA Sparks Weekly is where you can find me every week. And other than that, just follow me on Instagram. I post funny videos talking about sports all the time. I'm a good time. You can come argue with me in my comments, and I'm sure I'll be back on Jackie Rae, because Jackie Rae, you coming back on our show too.
Yes, most definitely. We have sparked a relationship. You see what I did there? You see. Y'all, thank you guys so much for joining in later, because we didn't see any of y'all in the chat. I know it's probably because of the NBA draft that we forgot about. That is my bad. Like, I would have planned around it, but I literally forgot. So my bad. But yes, you guys can follow me everywhere at Jackie Rae TV. You can see everything that I'm doing with the Jackie Rae Show. I'm definitely going to be back on LA Sparks Weekly because we had a grand old time. It's great to see fellow Black journalists doing their thing in this sports space. Because when I first started, I didn't see it was like me and Nick, and that was it. So I'm glad to see that we're growing and expanding, and I'm glad to see that we got love for each other. That's something else we see. We don't have to beat this crabs in a barrel, y'all. Let's lift each other up, help each other out, loving on each other. Black media matters, y'all. Until next time, thank y'all for joining us. I will see you next Wednesday. Bye, y'all.